being the Gatorland champions, has dropped 2 games so far this entire tournament. One to the number 8 seed, representing Shy Shoals, and the other to the team you're about to see them play against. Daff, what is the keys to victory for Prickly Pear if they want to pull off the upset here?
I mean, quite honestly, based on Prickly Pear's performance that I've seen, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Keeping Eevee on the more aggressive stance is great. Having Pepe kind of fluctuate between the skirmisher and somebody that uses Zuka in the prime positions. Shiny as your backline and supportive role, I mean, to say less about that. I really think in some ways it comes down to some mechanical skill. Considering, too, the folks of My Little Henlo have not only played together for a very long time, but they also did not drop any games during Gatorland. They had a perfect game in Gatorland, and Prickly Pear, I believe, also had a perfect game at their land. So it's kind of interesting to see the cross-pollination of folks losing and dropping games to people that are not from their land, but there are other people that are also in the competitive scene that they may have seen before in online tournaments. So it's really is like the perfect bridge gapping the LAN experience and the online experience.
Yeah, I'm sure Gatorland folks were just tickled to death whenever they had to play this team. I mean, this is a team that isn't likely to drop games to anybody, LAN, online, anywhere.
Right.
Half of their team is in +1, the other half is in +2. So this is a star-studded lineup. It's almost a crime that all these players live close enough to each other that they can go to a LAN and just dominate it the way that they did. But they're not going up against any slouches here. Basically half of Cherry Limeade and half of Healthy Diet food groups, which I don't really know where Cherry Limeade would fall into a Healthy Diet food
With
group.
a sprinkle of Triggerfish zones. Just a sprinkle.
Well, yes, a sprinkle. Just a sprinkle. And
Just
not
a
more
sprinkle.
than that, because we can't really handle much more than just a sprinkle on that on this channel. But we are going to be hopping into that set momentarily. We're just waiting for players to join the lobby, I believe, and then we'll be bringing you that. Keep in mind, this is double elimination, so if Prickly Pear wants to win this tournament, which I get the sense that they do, they have to win this set and then win a bracket reset. And if you don't know what a bracket reset is, we'll cover it when we get there. The odds are telling you that it's not likely to happen. It just comes down to how prepared is My Little Henlo coming out of that break? What did Prickly Pear learn from the last time they played them that they'll make an adjustment on? Are there any kind of counter picks that stick out to them that feel like they're going to work into their favor as the set goes on? Or is Prickly Pear just going to win every game and they don't even have to make a counter pick?
I feel it in my heart seeing Glub Glub getting a 3-0 by Prickly Pear and then coming back in the losers finals to get a 3-2 and a very close 3-2. So I love that Glub Glub just like given another chance, they were warmed up and like it came down to the wire for them to even try to knock Prickly Pear out of the running. So like I guess all in all, my notes are close competition. Very close.
It just all comes down to who wants it more, really. I mean, that's all any of these tournaments ever come down to. And that's the one factor you can't measure as an analyst. Want. You know, we can measure need, we can measure heart. We can't measure want. And that's what we're going to be seeing on display as these teams get into the set here. Game 1 is going to be Hagglefish zones. And let me look up what happened the last. I mean, I know what happened, but I want to look up like the exact maps that these two teams played against each other on the last time that they played.
I think, well, 100% Eevee needs to hold on to the decav. The bubbler here is going to be major for taking space. So I'm hoping that change from Prickly Pear is here to stay. For the folks of My Little Henlo, I mean, you have Lexi there, which makes me nervous. Lexi's a very, very strong player, so that does make me a little nervous. I do like how in the chat right now we kind of have a very clear camp of like East Coast versus West Coast. And honestly, what a more fitting way for the LCS to kind of come down to the wire is coast to coast. That's pretty fun, but it's funny because it's like the South is the dominating region. in all of this. At the end of all of this, it is the South that is dominating everybody, but it does come out to what section of the South is dominating East versus West.
Of course. So the South is dominating everybody, which in turn means all of us are losing in that exact scenario. But that's where we stand right here. The maps that they played last time in Winners Finals, there was Splat Zones at Barnacle and Dime, or Barnicicle and Dime.
Barnicle.
Clan Blitz at Umami Ruins. Tower Control Ship Shape. Umami Ruins. Tower Control Ship Shape was the only one that Prickly Pear was able to win. But My Little Henlo was using Clash Blaster, so I'm not super convinced that they were super interested in that one anyways. Game 4 was Rainmaker at Humpback, Pump Track, ultimately landing into My Little Henlo's favor. So there's that.
Using Clash, that's just kind of fun, having fun with it.
But that's exactly the opposite of what competitive Splatoon is all about.
I'm sorry, we hate fun here.
All we want is victory. That's the only thing that matters, and that's what these two teams are going to be going for here. Game 1 of Grand Finals. My Little Henlo taking on Prickly Pear. Splat Zones at Hagglefish Market. We see Flop Stoppa coming out with the Zipcaster, Ninja Squid, Octobrush, Eevee on the decav, and the Bamboo that has the Super Chunks.
I like Flop. We're pulling up with the Bamboo through every single game. Bamboozler, and both kinds, might I add, making it into Grand Finals of the LCS. You've seen it here first, folks. Floppa Stoppa coming up. They got Cooler there at the ready on the wings, trying to go into the spawn of Prickly Pear, but get taken down.
Actually, I think they were going into their own spot. I think they were trying to go after Eevee. I was thinking the same thing you were, though, because I was like, go back to zone. Why are you this far pushed up? No, they're retreating. Eevee is being a menace right now, finally getting eliminated by Flop Stoppa. And 2 players are still alive for Prickly Pear. They're going to have to back up, and this should be zone flipping into the favor of Gatorland. But what an opening. Somehow Eevee slipping past the defense and causing all kinds of issues in the My Little Henlo base.
Yeah, My Little Henlo is going to have to do some regrouping here to try to be watching the sides for where Eevee could try to infiltrate, because that was a pretty quick infiltration from Eevee right at the starting gate here. Shiny in a good position up on the canopy. They are opting to paint and put down a lot of ink. That's what I was saying before, Popgun. Shiny is so good at finding out where all of their players are at. They've been playing the support role for a long time, so they know exactly what they need to do there, but also know where to take the fights when they can. Taking down Henlo in the process. That is going to be Prickly Pear finally taking zone back in possession.
All the folks spamming cactuses in chat right now must be pretty pleased with what they're seeing. Until just look away from that. You're not going to want to see an Octobrush just eliminating your entire team in just a few strokes right there. The cap is going to be played. I think I see a flop or a flank coming around from Eevee, although Eevee is opting to go right back up top there, dropping the bubbler that the Octobrush is not afraid of. And now, this is what we thought we saw earlier. Flop Stoppa going into the enemy base. They're actually doing it for real this time around. My Little Henlo's finally got things established. They got Soda in. They're using all their specials, including Zipcaster, and Prickly Pear's nowhere near attacking the zone just yet, so the lead will go to My Little Henlo.
Yeah, and an unfortunate trade in the backside there with Shiny, so that's a huge painter being taken out for Prickly Pear. Pepe trying to follow up with the Trizuka there, but still, unfortunately, popping it, but in the crab trying to find value, but Eevee is quickly there to follow up with the folks of Sunset Surge taking the zone back in possession. It seems to me that Prickly Pear, with the help of Shiny and the paint that they have, they're able to take the zone back super quick. My Little Henlo just really needed to throw a hard punch to gain the lead.
Nice use of the Zipcaster right there. And there's not really much you can do with the pencil like that. You just basically just got to spam and hope that a couple of your shots land and you can take care of Spider-Man. But when you're able to use the Zipcaster that effectively and take the top off the defense, get rid of the anchor player right off the bat, it just completely shuts down any kind of push potential that you can have coming out of your own base. Shiny throwing down soda for everybody, so this is going to be one of those last-ditch efforts by Prickly Pear. They do take care of the pencil on the opposite side, get control of the zone. Is it going to be enough to hold onto it, though, consistently? Hinlow staying alive. No, they were staying alive. Pepe had something to say about that, and now it's Prickly Pear that's in a pretty decent situation to try to get the lead back. Penalty points almost gone, Seth.
Yeah, and it looks to me that, okay, Floppa is in somebody's spawn. Floppa is somewhere in someone's spawn, and then now we're at the perspective of Gatorland. So I think Flop must have been in Prickly Pear's spawn trying to entice folks to come back to them. Now finding themselves in the delayed wipe situation, 3 specials online with some change left to spare going out for the final seconds of the game. It seems to me that with all the specials online for Gatorland, this is looking pretty cozy for them to try to maintain it, and especially if you're Floppa with that inkjet. I mean, holy smokes, the Zipcaster, excuse me.
Having a little bit too much fun is Flopstoppa. They're stopping everything that's coming out right now, and that's going to do it. The hammer, the exclamation point, not even going to splat Eevee as they're jumping in right there. My Little Hinlow weathers the storm. A little bit shaky at the start, but that map always comes down to flanks. The opening lead going into Prickly Pear's favor because Eevee's able to get that huge flank, get into the enemy base. Well, Floppa had 2 huge flanks. One that created the lead initially for My Little Hinlow. The second one to close it out at the end right there. Both players doing a good job of being elusive, but Floppa was literally all over the map, and Prickly Pear was having a lot of difficulty locating them in that entire second half.
Well, from the perspective that we saw in like the last 2 minutes of the game, Floppa was just sitting in Prickly Pear's base, trying to like bring attention to themselves to be like, hey, come over here. And like they weren't even trying to go in and fight until they realized that Prickly Pear knew what they were trying to do, and they were like, just ignore them. Let them come. They have to come back to us. We're all up here. And if he's in there and we're all up here and then there's only 3 of them there, then who's driving the bus? But anyway, it was still Gatorland driving the bus.
Yeah, and if they leave at 10 minutes and travel at 15 miles per hour, how soon will it be until the Octobrush collides with somebody and gets a double? Great math questions being proposed on this Sunday school night, I guess is what it is here. Game 2. Now, this is a counter-pick situation still. The last time we saw these 2 teams play, it was in Winners Finals where Clan Blitz Umami was picked. That didn't work out too well.
Yamama.
Tower Control Ship Shape was the victory. Instead, they're going to be going to the map they got the win on in the last set. They haven't played this one against My Little Hinlow, but they got the win here against Glup Glup, and this is what started the beginning of the turning the set around into their favor. Splat zones at Mahi Mahi Resort is what they're going with here.
And I'm wondering if similar precautions are going to be taken just of the fact that Henlo is a very avid wiper user, so similar to kind of what Keen was trying to do on the wiper, like trying to get in really fast, trying to go in for the flank and trying to meet the onslaught of folks coming out of the spawn right away in the first couple of seconds. However, I do think that on Prickly Pear, with Eevee also being as fast, I feel like maybe that they could find themselves meeting each other over on the flanking side of things, and maybe being the ones to initiate the team fight. Considering it seems like trade for trade, they both like getting out fast, and initiating the fight as soon as possible.
Now, Saf, I do have a message for everyone in chat. Could you stop with your spam? You're destroying not only my chat experience, but everyone's chat experience. If you plebs don't stop immediately, we will call the Splatoon police. Don't try us. Anyways,
who are the Splatoon police?
That's a great question.
It
might be My Little Hinlow at the rate that they're playing. They're doing a good job of getting a lot of splats and everything working out into their favor. But this is the map that Prickly Pear picked. They got a huge win in the last set against them, but there's still the Octobrush they have to deal with. It feels like if you get a trade with the Octobrush right now, that is a W that works out into your favor. Because as long as you just make sure we know they're coming, they're going to be in front of us. They're not going to be behind us at any point. If we can just deal with that and isolate the Octobrush, Prickly Pear is going to be just fine.
I am seeing a similar writing style to what we saw in Game 1, where Prickly Pear had a really strong opening, but My Little Henlo was able to come in and shut it down. But however, that doesn't really seem to be the case here, as all 4 members of My Little Henlo are blocked on the left-hand side, and 2 being taken down with the Zuka, make it 3 with Eevee taking down the 3rd member. 20 seconds left remaining, unit points remaining for Prickly Pear to close this out here. They just have to keep doing what they're doing, which I'm not sure what that is, quite honestly.
Well, they're not going to keep doing what they were doing. They did not take your advice. They said, you know what? What if we did something completely... What was that? Excuse me. Well, we're not on land right now. Shiny picking a player off mid-flight. But it does flip the zone back into Prickly Pear's favor. They don't have a ton of ability points they have to get through. Keep it in mind that... Oh, that was an awkward trade. But keep it in mind that once ability points are gone, it's basically GG into their favor. But the Octobrush has been getting bullied so far in this first 2 minutes. Doing a good job defensively right there, but they need to find ways to activate the Zipcaster if My Little Henlo wants to get back into this one.
But I think that goes to show how quickly Prickly Pear is able to adapt to the circumstances. They saw how Floppa kind of had free reign in the previous Splatzones game, so now they're really keeping it under wraps, finding themselves still with single digits left. Henlo tried to come in and take it, but that is Prickly Pear all the way down. There is a reason this was the counter pick, Popgun.
Is that reason that they were going to win here? Because they did.
No.
You know what the difference was? They came to the realization that they should actually do what you said that they should do, which is keep doing the win, so that we can see them do their little karate pose right there. Keep play right there. Just keep doing what you're doing. Just win. That's all this thing really ever comes down to. Do you want to win or not?
Well, I think certainly for Prickly Pear, the as people say, the win condition was in their favor, especially because it seemed to me that the folks of Gatorland were kind of just staggering themselves out of the spawn, and even once they tried to get something cooking, you could see Spell on that last replay over on the left. They immediately flew out once Floppa and Henlo were taken out of the process, but this was a huge Zuka pick that happened here, with 2 members being taken out immediately on the spawn, damage going in onto Spell as they jumped down, and Eevee going in and striking in for the 3rd takedown. That to me was the toppling point for Prickly Pear in winning this game against My Little Henlo. So My Little Henlo once again finding themselves on the counter-picking side of things. However, once they were in this position last time that we saw with Prickly Pear, it didn't really work out so well in Prickly Pear's favor. So I'm wondering if are they going to pick the same thing potentially and try to make it the same sort of narrative that we saw last time? Do they want to go with something different? Either way, My Little Henlo is trying to reassess, and how do we make sure that Prickly Pear is not in a good place to follow up, and maybe Rainmaker Pump Track is the place to do that.
You know, can I get the camera on me real quick? I have a special guest that I'd like to bring onto the stream. So this is my son's current favorite book, Hippity Hoppity Little Bunny, because it's got this little bunny mascot that you can go here. Now, this bunny mascot is going to explain why this probably isn't a good idea that they're picking this map, even though it works out for Octobrush, as people were arguing in the chat earlier. Because it's really difficult to beat the same team twice on the same exact map and mode in a counterpick scenario when they realize what they did wrong last time and they can make adjustments off of that. Well, thank you, little bunny. By the way, this guy is incredibly cute. I mean, my son likes to hug this thing.
I'm trying to read along,
gives really
but
good Splatoon advice.
My book is on plants. I don't think I'm reading the same book as you.
There's no like tree puppet that comes out there that you can kind of put your finger into and pretend to be like a
there is. It's called the Paper Birch.
Unfortunately for you idiots in chat, we have to go back to our Splatoon tournament right now. Game 3, Humpback Rainmaker. My Little Henlo picked this last time, and it worked out into their favor. Is it going to be the same kind of dub they're hoping for here in the run back? Shiny's going to be actually coming off of pencils so that they can use the heavy edit. Still gotten the soda in them, but more importantly, it's Eevee who's trading with the Octobrush, who's going to the Carbon Roller. 2 players down on each side in the opening seconds.
I think that it seems to me that that is kind of what Prickly Pear is going to try to be going in shooting for the rest of this matchup, is just how do we cancel out the Octobrush as fast as possible. And with that, Shiny is able to help out with that. 2 members down on the side of My Little Henlo, and first checkpoint is going to be taken with little to no problems by Prickly Pear.
Yeah, but you got to strike now. This is your great opportunity to get a huge lead right off now. Shiny going down. Oh, we're stuck back here, but the Rainmaker's running away. Why is there even a fight going on back there? It seems like kind of a back alley brawl that had nothing to do with what was going on, but none of those players opting to get away as the Rainmaker didn't go anywhere anyway. So nicely done on the defense. But that was a great opportunity for Prickly Pear. There were so many players from My Little Hill that are just caught off guard. If you just leave them back there and just go and lead the charge, you might get the KO right there.
Yeah, and great play by Kaede, kind of taking up the left or the right-hand side there, able to pop the checkpoint for My Little Henlo. And being granted safe passage by your teammates definitely made that really advantageous there. Pepe getting a little overextended, maybe not waiting in time for Eevee to try to help out the fight there. Eevee finding themselves in between a rock and a hard place and getting a trade that they were not really quite opting for. However, Prickly Pear still having the upper hand on the folks in My Little Henlo. Nobody's been able to touch the Rainmaker just yet. But finally, now with Sunset Surge holding on tight here, they're going to try to see if they can make another push, even though it seems like My Little Henlo is not really giving them an opening here.
I was just impressed that Pepe was able to 1v1 that crab and get the splat on top of it. But now, things looking pretty neutral right now. But it feels like this has been a long game. It's only been 2 minutes. We're just now getting started. Both teams have cleared that checkpoint. It's essentially a tied game at this point. Stops the Rainmaker push. Eevee probably forget. Oh, right. The Octobrush can just kind of do that from that distance. I guess that's a thing that can happen. Are we going to see a push from the left coming right here, though? Is that something that's going to happen? I mean, it could go. They could go anywhere because there's just one player left alive. But yes, you can go this way. That is lead for My Little Henlo and then some. Threatening to get the KO right there. The push does get stopped, but a very rare push to the left. It only worked out because the Rainmaker died right there. Credit to the Octobrush Flop Stoppa, who's been playing great so far in this set. Is the Rainmaker going to reset? It's not even popped yet, I don't think. Is it popped?
No.
No.
Nope.
We're just... I don't think they realize that. They're just going to leave it there. You got to go back and pop it. It's not going to reset on its own. Oh, no. They're just going to be... Finally, Eevee's like, hey, we need to pop this sucker. And now you're going to grab it in that same spot? Oh, wow.
It makes you wonder what was happening in the voice channel, because I bet Eevee was just like, hey, this is still here.
Why isn't this resetting? Yeah, like, what's going on?
Eevee was probably like, hey, this is still here. I can imagine Shiny and Eevee probably giving a little chuckle at that. But finally, Rainmaker was picked up. It's pushed a little bit more forward. It's in the hands mostly of Sunset Surge as they're trying to get a little bit more paint on the ground. Unfortunately, I don't think Eevee is the one that you would want to be picking this up, especially between, but getting stuck between the pedestal and the wall because Hammer's just going to knock you out.
And that's, like, Eevee's been the one grabbing it the last 3 times in a row. I don't know... Well, I mean, that last time they're just like, oh, crap, we have to pop this and pick it up. We have no choice. We got to do that. But, yeah, and now you just got 1 minute left to go. So much time wasted from Prickly Pear just being discombobulated with where they want to go, who they want to grab the Rainmaker, and what their game plan is going to be. It just look really mixed up right now, and My Little Henlo is doing a great job of capitalizing off of that, getting the splat to take the Rainmaker to the left, now being aggressive with the Rainmaker, playing like the team that doesn't have the lead, making sure they continue to bleed time off of the clock. And if they get splatted right there, it's so far away from where Prickly Pear would want the Rainmaker to be. So they're basically just trying to stall it out into that one spot right there, bleed away some specials, absorb some Inkzuka strikes. As we get what's going on over there. It looks like Eevee was able to get a splat.
But Flop is on the flank! Okay, they didn't find much value out of the flank, but they were there. And that's what Jorian was trying to show us, that they were there behind 3 different members of Prickly Pear, but they didn't find much value out of their flank, unfortunately. But even still, with the time being wasted, it was enough, and Henlo was waving at us in the camera there, going into game number 4.
Clash Blaster coming out next game, confirmed. Just a little bit of a stare down, a wave. To all the Cactus fans in chat. That is Yeah, that was the counter pick.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to LUTI tonight here on Splatoon Tourney. My name is Hammy. I'm joined once again by Neptune, good friend of mine, and we have our Division 4 semifinals match, Reload versus Bad Luck, looking to see who's going to go to the finals to play Yellow Jackets later this season. Neptune, how you doing today?
Doing pretty good. It's always great to be able to be behind the mic because I was so busy doing CCA stuff, but now I'm here. It feels great to just see so many opportunities to watch LUTI because that's, the other league that I was running on simultaneously now. So being able to see two Division 4 teams, no less semi-finalists here is definitely an honor here, and I'm happy to share the spotlight with you, Hammy.
Yeah, I absolutely love commentating any LUTI tonight, realistically, because it's always a lot of fun content, especially here in Splatoon Tourney. A lot of people like to watch these matches. But yes, getting into this match, seeing who will go on to the finals, who will play in the third place match, what we're going to figure out today. Bad Luck and Reload have both made their ways all the way to the semifinals. Now, interestingly enough, what I was looking and noticing that one of these teams is all Americans and Canadians, and one of these teams is European, I believe, French players and Swiss players. So we kind of got a little bit of a NA versus EU battle on our hands here, potentially.
Dang. Okay, the regional battles continue after LCS. Man, that was always just a show here. I think every time LCS gets pulled up here, we have to bring it back in some shape or form. But hey, let's see the region battle continue here with Bad Luck versus Reload, starting off on Mahi Zones.
Yeah, Mahi Zones, a tried and true map mode combination. Interesting comps on both sides here. We are seeing a slider on each side, so Opting kind of have a little bit of that cheese. But the bamboo coming in from, I believe that is Goldilocks on the side of Reload.
Yeah, for sure. Bamboo's a really interesting pick here because if there's one thing that Bamboo is really good at playing at, it's to these angles and sides because it just has so much range. As long as it has the space, it will be able to beam you properly. But just look at this control Bad Luck has. Immediately getting this zone here and trying to contest the snipe here, just getting these picks back to back. It is a scramble for this zone here, Hammy.
Yeah, scramble for the zone. Two members of each side are down. Reload back temporarily in control, but not quite with the footing they're looking for. But actually, Hammy, Sammy, and Timmy are going to walk forward a little bit, try to buy some space. But Ember and Sora are going to just keep that zone a little bit more orange than they'd like it to be. But either team just looking for a way to get in here. A lot of sliders just kind of going through and not finding a lot of value. And after all of that, it looks like Bad Luck is finally in control of the map with Sora all the way pushed up on those Tetris.
Yeah, for sure. A little overeager there to just keep fighting there, but hey, you're a Tetra player. The W key is all you know here. You got to find a way forward. But generally, Reload is looking for a way for a retake here. They already have the Reef Slider. They have the Zuka out here. Not going to find anyone, it seems, which is really unfortunate because a Zuka pick would have been crucial for getting back here. But we see the Reef go out, and obviously we see the Reef Cheese coming out and keeping them in this game here, Hammy.
Yeah, try to keep themselves in the game. Bad Luck are still in control. There goes Goldilocks down to Sky, and the map is looking fairly orange right now. Azuka coming from Ember just has a little bit of assurance to pick off any stray members of Reload. Gonna get the pick onto Cinnamon, and that's gonna buy a little bit more time for Bad Luck here as they're about to start counting down as they just got through the penalty.
Yeah, for sure. Now, here's the thing. Are they going to be able to stop this Dread right here? Because they do still have Reef Slider here. It's still an opportunity. One goes down on the side of Bad Luck. Two go down. A Reef Slider comes out here. The zone is once again flipped here. This game will keep going on and on until Bad Luck will have one opportunity to be able to hold it against that Reef Slider. But now, Reload's going to be the one flipping the script here and setting up for a lockout of their own.
Yeah, the chumps from Goldilocks are going to help buy a lot of space for Reload and get themselves set up. Now, I'd like to point out, two members of Reload, Goldilocks and Timmy, both have last-ditch effort on their build. So they're going to have a little bit more utility now as Bad Luck have pushed a fair bit through this game. Cinnamon with that zip, though, going to pick off a couple players. Reload 10 ticks away from getting a lead, forcing Ember out. That's going to be a lead flip for Reload. Can they push for this KO, or is Bad Luck going to break back in, Neptune?
It's hard to say right now, especially with these two picks going down. Bad Luck does have an opportunity to get this zone, but can they see the carpet? No, Hammy Sammy coming in clutch there at the end here. I think this is going to cement it. I don't think this Reef Slider is going to be able to cap, but it will stall for just enough time. It is a brawl for this zone. Three go down on Bad Luck, and the zone is capped. First game goes to Reload.
Very well played from both sides. We kind of talked. We saw a lot of similar things on both sides, and a lot of skirmishing, a lot of just kind of going back and forth, nobody finding those positions. But when Bad Luck were in, they didn't have as great a hold they wanted to. But once Reload got their first holdout, they just didn't let Bad Luck back in. There was just no opportunity for them to arrive. You know, like even here in this replay, we can see players kind of going back and forth. There's never like a decisive moments until right here when two go down on Bad Luck and Reload just walk in and sweep through them and just completely hold them out the rest of the game.
Yeah, for sure. Reload's comp is definitely built around just a lot of strong fighting weapons, right? But the problem is getting that initial control. You were mentioning earlier how Reload was struggling to get to anywhere through mid and keeping that zone there initially. But once they got in, the weapons just got set up and they were able to go to town, punish the players on Bad Luck as necessary here. Now, I'm curious to see if this will happen again on Barnacle here, because obviously one thing that's on Barnacle on this particular map mode is there is no zone to cap with your Reef Slider, but there might be other opportunities to use the Reef Slider to get onto the platform or underneath the clam basket here, Hammy.
Yeah, there are a lot of options with those sliders. And just in general, I think something that's also important to notice with how these teams have been playing is you're seeing Reload grouping up a little bit more, you know, always having a Bamboozler or a Dreadringer player with you when you're attacking, and with having a Carbon and a Stamper, just that combination is going to do them well. Whereas on the side of Bad Luck, we saw a little bit more solo play. You know, we saw Sora on those Tetras playing fairly far forward, and we saw Ember and Sky on the Splatter Shot and the Gal respectively, kind of playing on their own sides and maybe not getting as much backup as they might want. So looking forward, Bad Luck may need to kind of work together and utilize some special combinations in order to get themselves in, because Reload already have a lead in this set.
Yeah, for sure. But Clam Blitz is a litmus test in teamwork and well as getting these picks here. Ooh, the Decavitator coming out here from Cinnamon as well. So still a sword, but a very different sword indeed, Hammy.
Yes, it is still a sword. And also Goldilocks opting for the vanilla Bamboozler, having those whales instead of the Super Chums, realizing that maybe because there's no splat zone, it won't give them as much value. Already, forward playing player on each side going down, 3 players on each plat, trying to buy some space, giving in jumps. The Sodas coming out from the side of Bad Luck is going to give them a little bit of leeway to kind of take some space forward here. But trades going out once again on both sides. Similar to game one, neither team really finding a critical position here, as Bad Luck starting to take a little bit more of the map.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely you see Bad Luck being able to find their way forward here. They are getting these picks. They are getting the space right now. Now to getting these clams here as well. Beautiful recognition of the Reef Slider and being able to just hop on top of those boxes just to punish it. Oh, this is a season's Tetris if I've ever seen one, Hammy.
Yeah, if you... Playing Slider takes so much to learn the intricacies of it, because if you just try to use it willy-nilly, it will never work in your favor. So you love to see somebody dedicated to playing their weapon and being able to learn to use that slider along with it. But Reload now breaking the basket, but down 3. It's just Timmy getting canceled on the slider. That's the opposite of what we were just talking about. Slider can be a very inconsistent weapon, and it's so sad to see it now. Bad Luck is in control of the map. 2 players already on the plat. We have Ember and I believe that is Fodder are painting up the middle of the map. Now all grouped up on the plat together. Power Clam in hand, but they need to find some picks first. They want to get forward.
Yeah, for sure. They got 3 down here. They're trying to hunt down this last Dreadringer. A wipeout occurs here as well. And now they can start scoring the clams, taking that lead right now. And this is where it gets dangerous, Hammy. Clams are just going to be continuously cycled and fed here. And so much control is going to be so difficult to get back if you are Reload right now.
Yeah, you need to get back that control, and like you said, it's going to be fairly difficult, but you still have an opportunity. You managed to get 1, but there's the second one as well. This is where you walk forward, try to get those picks. Sky getting 1. Can they get 2? No. Shut down by Goldilocks, and jumps come in. Finally pushed out. Reload have taken back the middle of the map, but already pushed down to 24. There's exactly half of the game left, so there's still an opportunity, but it's definitely going to be an uphill battle.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, beautiful pick here from Fodder on that decavitator. It had the bubble there, which could have been very deadly if placed up properly. But no, it's not a problem anymore. Soda for everyone here. It's now going to be an opportunity just to scrap a little bit here. We see the Reef Slider come out here, and everyone on Bad Luck trying to go over here and punish that as well. However, look at how much space is all left on the map here. All this fighting here, and Bad Luck is still in their spawn and trying to find a way forward. Even harder with that bubble set up now.
Yeah, bubble setup is going to give a little bit of space for reload, but not able to get forward just yet as Fodder is set up in a decent position in the pencil, but does actually get pushed out by some bombs now. Ember trying to prevent Sammy from pushing forward with that carbon is going to play very far forward here, taking the rail, trying to push away 2 players, but here comes the rest of the team to back them up. Here comes that Zuka, unable to find any picks, but will buy a little bit of space, and Bad Luck managed to hold out.
Yeah, for sure. Bad Luck definitely does have a little bit of advantage in terms of the lead they were able to have here as well. However, I've seen this happen time and time again. Bend over backward just a little bit too much, and they will take advantage of this, as we saw Cinnamon getting those picks there with the decavitator here. And now it's looking like Reload is looking for an opportunity to score here. They have 2 power clamps to their name, specials online, and now it's just a matter of getting these picks to get something started here.
They need those picks, and they have some specials ready. A whale and a slider can do them wonders if used correctly. 2 members of Bad Luck go down. Reload now have map control. They have the numbers. They have the jumps. They just need to find a way in. Timmy has this slider ready and is looking to use it after they get this power clamp in. They do get it in. They use the slider. Don't find any kills, but it will get some space. But a flank, I believe, will pick off 3 players of Reload. And now it's just Timmy trying to make the solo play and get themselves out of there, maybe buy some time. Because without a lead, they got 35 seconds to get another push.
Yeah, for sure. 30 seconds over already here. It's just going to be very difficult here for Bad Luck to be able to, how do I say it? Keep the economy, essentially. You need to keep this economy here to prevent another push from happening, because you have quite a bit of penalty pulled up from that last push here. The most important thing is just staying alive here, but it's going to be very dicey with this decavitator pushing you, Hammy.
Now, I will say 2 power claims will tie with that penalty. There is 40-point difference between these teams. They have 1 power claim as a pity. They do break if they get more. They have claims, and they just need a little bit more to get the lead. Are they pushing through? They just straight throwing clams. They need 1 more. Goldilocks needs to find 1, but they're by themselves. They're spamming this way, looking for a jump, but no teammates are available to jump. No one able to run in. Timmy jumps in, and this is the power clam, and that's going to be a win for Bad Luck.
Hey, okay, I think Bad Luck is having some very good luck here, to be quite honest, because that looked very dire, very fast right there. Reload found a way in. They set up that bubble. The bubble play to set up the basket to allow players just to run in and get the points there is what allowed them to be able to gape it so close here, but just, oh my goodness, just the nick of time ran out just there, and he saw the jump, and it did not go in the favor of Reload there, Hammy.
You have to know that Timmy and Goldilocks are kicking themselves right now. It's one of those things that sometimes is out of your control, but having that jump barely miss, whether it was Timmy jumping too quickly, whether it was Goldilocks not being in range of the basket, that disconnect there, missing that last power clam. It was the only clam they could have grabbed because Timmy was on respawn, no one made available to grab just a normal clam, but the comeback play though, going from 80 down to 26 with less than, 80 to 40, 38, sorry, yes, and then 5 seconds left, getting all those clams, and Goldilocks with a nice full wallet of clams spamming this way under the basket. Yeah, I think you can see here, they were close to the basket. I think Timmy might have jumped a little bit too late and landed too far. Yeah, that may have just been how quickly they could respawn, but an unfortunate circumstance for Reload does give Bad Luck. I mean, I say it's an unfortunate circumstance for Reload. Bad Luck did a great job at defending. They got a huge push, and they were able to keep Reload away for that long. So that was definitely a deserved win, but it came down to the wire.
Yeah, for sure. Coming down to the wire there is definitely something that I was not anticipating, to be honest, but Reload still finds a way. And they have these entryways, they have these specials, they're able to get these picks, then set up the specials accordingly to be able to score those points right there. And you see the fluidity, you see the playmaking options that the team is able to pull off here. It's just time was not on their side, but we'll see if it is on their side with Tower Control Eggbot, a fan favorite, if I do say so myself.
I am also a fan of Tower Control Inkblot. as it is a map that everyone seems to be well practiced in, so that should hopefully go for these teams as well, as we're seeing similar weapons coming in from both sides. But we see Tony, a new addition to the side of Bad Luck, is on that Vanilla Luna.
Ooh, Vanilla Luna. If there ever is a mode you see a Blaster, it is going to be tower control here. And Luna Blaster, with its huge radius, is able to cover so much ground and just catch you off guard. It's just a matter of positioning up and setting it properly and not expecting it. But look at this. Reload is finding out the shot and the Luna, and now they're going to start a push of their own here. We see Cinnamon already taking this platform, playing very aggressively, already having this bubble set up here. Now they can just chill out here, hopefully push this tower, but no, 2 members go down here, and the checkpoint is like slowly ticking down, but not as fast as I'd like it if I were Reload.
Cinnamon making the solo play, though, with that decav, pushing out basically the entire roster of Bad Luck. We have Goldilocks, who's on the Splatana. I didn't realize, when I saw the Splatana, I thought it was Cinnamon, but no, double sword coming in from Reload. Goldilocks, though, still playing that support role similar to what we saw from the Bamboo, is riding the tower with the sword, using the crab in the long range. And honestly, having a one-tap weapon on the tower doesn't seem like a bad idea for defense. As already, though, Hammy, Sammy, and Cinnamon on the Carbon and the Decav are just making crazy solo plays, pushing away Bad Luck. And Reload's already going to that last checkpoint in a minute and a half.
Yeah, for sure. Just, I gotta comment on just how beautiful this push was. You know, it's constantly these solo plays, as you were alluding to earlier, just constantly pushing these members of Bad Luck consistently, because it's very difficult to fight these weapons one-on-one, not only with their ability to one-shot, but with their range here as well. It just takes a little bit of teamwork here, and just, unfortunately, Bad Luck was scrambling, and that allowed that push for Reload to go all the way down to 24. While that is pretty solid, it's never over till it's over here, Hammy.
It's never over till it's over, but 24 is a nice, comfortable safety net to give yourself, because with the caliber of these teams, Reload is capable of fighting and stalling Bad Luck, so they're going to need to find advantage state, at least one, maybe even more than one, if they really want to get through here, because they haven't even pushed the tower yet. They're breaking back into mid finally, but 3 players of Reload on that side are going to try to fight back, but no, 2 of them go down. It's Timmy left alone, dying to the whale while trying to super jump out. Will be a wipe, and now Bad Luck are finally getting in position on this left side. We're going to see Tony potentially push up here and cause some havoc, just like we've seen from Hammy, Sammy, and Cinnamon.
Yeah, for sure. The Luna Blaster does have a Zipcaster online, so I'm curious to see if they'll use it at just the right time here to be able to push this tower. But, oh, the pencil going down is pretty huge. We do see a Zuka and a Zipcaster combo, unfortunately getting shut down here as well. Now, Bad Luck needs to be able to just maintain their space, find a way forward here, and find a way to just secure this Bats area to keep this push alive.
They want to keep this push alive for sure, because even though there's 2 minutes left, you still want to try to get through another checkpoint, because you want to give yourself as much leeway as possible to try to get a win here. But Reload able to hold out their plat, push away players. Here comes Hammy Sammy on the side trying to push away Ember, but does get spotted out by 2 players, so has to respect it, but is still trying to just continue to just pelt that side and hope that somebody walks a little bit too far forward. Sky opting for the 1v1 here on Hammy Sammy, but Hammy Sammy realizes, cool, I got what I wanted. I distracted you. Bye.
A great distraction by Hammy Sammy. A great job recognizing, hey, it's not just worth it. I bide my team enough time here to get the resources and establish a defense here. But, oh, 2 go down on the side of Reload here, so it's going to be very difficult to continue this push here as well. And Bad Luck already making their way to the second checkpoint. This is the danger zone here. Any more picks, any more points, this is going to get a lead swap potentially.
There's a minute left in the game, and Reload's safety net has disappeared, but Cinnamon on this tower will push away fodder and allow some space for Reload to get back in. So not a lead swap, but that last checkpoint gone is going to mean that any last minute or even overtime push from Bad Luck is going to be a little bit more scary for Reload. They're going to have to hold this defense really, really well.
Yeah, for sure. You need to hold this defense well here, otherwise things can get pretty dicey. But you do have this crab tank here. You do have your specials. Now, this is the tricky part. If the Zipcaster gets in, that's going to be something that can really cement this game here. It's just a matter of how well these specials are going to be timed and how they play around here. Oh, Hammy Sammy's caught out alone here. That's the first domino to potentially fall here. I do see Tony looking for a way forward here. I do see his Zipcaster. Here it comes. It's going up here along with the whales. Comboing here, taking Timmy out. Tony's going for a second one. No, it got shut down. The tower's still going. It's a 2v2 situation. It's just the Gal and the Pen, but they can't hold it against the Crab here, Hammy. And game number 3 is going to go to Reload. Excellent defense.
Reload recovered from the Whale and Zip combo much faster than I expected, and I'm sure that was much quicker than Bad Luck expected too. Going 2 players down and not being in a great position, both players on the tower with a carbon roller behind you, is not where you want to be sitting in overtime, Neptune.
No, not for sure, for sure. And let's talk a little bit about Reload's comp here, okay? Because I need to comment on this again. Just 3 one-shot weapons that are very difficult to fight solo is something that this team excels at, and Bad Luck unfortunately was not able to team fight as much as they needed to be able to stop the pushes and the onslaught that are the Reload members here as well. But you definitely saw in the second half how Bad Luck was able to find ways forward. They were able to get crucial picks here. However, they just kind of got out-specialed in a sense of every time they needed to push, a special was in the way that stopped them from pushing out here. But I gotta give my flowers where flowers are due to the Bad Luck members getting that push all the way down to 31.
Yeah, they definitely made a valiant effort to make that game theirs, but unfortunately couldn't quite get it. And once again, as you mentioned, Reload's comp, I do want to comment on the fact that Goldilocks played that Stamper like a Bamboozler. They were constantly in positions where the Bamboo would want to stand. They were the one riding the tower. They were playing it like a Bamboo if a Bamboo was better on tower. And I massively respect that ability as a player to look at a weapon and go, I can play this like my normal kit, but in a more advantageous scenario. And it was just interesting to watch. I've never seen somebody play a Stamper quite like that. And it felt very at home for a player like Goldilocks playing those Bamboozlers. So just huge shoutouts to that, to recognizing how to play a weapon in the way that plays to your own strengths and plays to the strengths of your team, and ultimately supporting your team and helping get that win.
Yeah, for sure. And there is a little bit of a meme here, Hammy. You reminded me of something, okay? So are you ready for this? Are you ready for this comparison?
I am ready for this.
All right. So hear me out. Bamboozler, fully charged, does 70. Uncharged, does 35. What Stamper's combo numbers? 75 and 35 here as well. So wait, the Stamper's just a Bamboozler, Hammy. Think about it. It's just the same weapon. It's in disguise.
There are bamboo swords. That is a thing. So secretly, the bamboo is actually a Splatana. We've cracked the code. We figured it out. But now, getting into Rainmaker Museum, Cinnamon is already in the base of Bad Luck with a tent, fighting a 1v3 and succeeding at getting a kill and going behind. Something is happening here. Reload are locked in, already getting 2 kills, but they're looking to pick up this Rainmaker hopefully soon and try to get a quick checkpoint here.
Already, and I'm already noticing Reload has a tent umbrella here for Rainmaker. Quite a scary weapon if left uncontested here as well. And you can see how many of the members of Reload are struggling to be able to just keep this space here as well. They are getting these picks here, already clicking this first checkpoint in the first minute here, and it just seems like Bad Luck is scrambling to get something already. The Rainmaker is going to get pushed forward even more. 2 picks here, but the Rainmaker is getting off scot-free with this tent umbrella, going down to 26. It's just a minute here, Hammy. Slow down.
You hate to see it there for the side of Bad Luck. Like, you know that when Sora got that double kill on the slider, they were very excited and then realized, oh, shoot, we're losing. And then had to turn around and run back for the Rainmaker. I've done that plenty of times myself. Now, Bad Luck in mid with the Rainmaker, but they have to find space to get through. A Crab on their left side is going to force Fodder into a really awkward corner with Cinnamon on their trail, trying to pin them. The corner does get the kill, and Bad Luck unable to get back any map control, and Reload are once again in complete control of the map.
Yeah, for sure. Just there's so much map control, and it's so difficult to flush out these weapons. Like Hammy Sammy over there, striking over it just enough here. And then you also have Cinnamon coming up on the top left area with a Tenna umbrella with a Zuko locked and loaded here as well. You can see Timmy here crossing top left. A not very common route here for Rainmaker to slam dunk it here. Oh my goodness, Hammy. Blink and you miss it here. Reload's running away with that Rainmaker and taking home game number 4.
Yeah, I guess Bad Luck just wasn't ready for that top left run. Usually you see somebody set up there, but also looking at the comp of Bad Luck, you'd expect Fodder on the pencil to be up there, but I guess they may have been on that right side. But again, look at this replay. Look at this opening push from Cinnamon. We were trying to like, riff about like the bamboozler and stuff. Cinnamon's like, no. Talk about the tent umbrella. Talk about the tent umbrella here. This is what we're here to see. Walks in, manages to run away from a 1v3, getting a kill and surviving, and just opening up the floodgates for what was this match. Reload dominant the entire time, getting a KO and not letting Bad Luck get a single point.
Yeah, for sure. That is quite a statement to make here already on game number 4 here, as not only the morale's got to be pretty low for Bad Luck here, but you got to be feeling great for Reload, being able to not only snowball your advantage, but could keep up the pressure for a full-on knockout. Now that is, that's great.
And I will say too, watching back those replays, I got a little bit more information. I saw in that last push where they KO'd, Cinnamon or Hammy Sammy, one of the two Zukas, got a double kill. They managed to pick off one of the shooters on the side of Bad Luck, and then got another pick onto Fodder. Fodder had rotated to kill the Rainmaker and got picked off by Zuka, which is why that left side was uncontested. 3 players of Bad Luck went down. So that wasn't just like a sneaky play from Timmy. That was a like full team like rush through where they picked off players systematically. There was so much more at hand there, and all we got to see was that little glimpse of the Rainmaker getting in, getting that KO, and already these teams are hungry for more. Getting into game 5 immediately, we're going to Mako Mart Splat Zones.
Waiter, we want more Splatoon. They heard our order, and here we are on Splat Zone's Mako Mart here, as he said here. Now, I'm noticing how we got the Dread back here, and this is going to be quite a dangerous weapon, because most people look at Dread as just Reef Cheese, but I think on Mako Mart specifically, with these stack areas and how you have these giant AoE hitboxes, it's going to be quite a difficult weapon to contest here. But 2 down on each side here, Hammy. These teams are swinging.
Yeah, then more fights coming in as Sky is trying to run in with, Sora running in with the help of Sky. But one player going down, Sora on that side, also getting picked off now. 2 members of Bad Luck down. Reload in control still, pushing through. Fodder dropping some sodas for these respawns, trying to see if they can get the team in. But with some chumps and with a slider ready, Reload are sitting pretty.
Yeah, for sure. They're sitting pretty nicely here. They're just looking for an opportunity to punish any plays that Bad Luck is able to make. And this is kind of reminding me a bit of Mahi, how it's very difficult for Bad Luck to be able to get back in against a lot of these weapons here. But, oh wait, dodging the Stamper beautifully in the 1v1 here. Okay, the Zipcaster comes out here just to barely live, but it's going after this pencil here as well. And shutting that down here. It's just the Tetris alive here and a full-on wipeout here. This might be 100-0 here, Hammy.
Yeah, Bad Luck need to get in here quick. Less than 10 ticks left, but Azuka just being held up by Sammy. 3 members of Reload just kind of standing in the stack, hanging out, just, chatting, getting ready for game 6 because they already know they have this one in the bag. And just these last 2 games, like the first like 3 games of the set, it could go either way, really close stuff, but I don't know what happened to Reload. They turned it on. They just 100-0 in both of these sets. Not only are the knockouts not even letting the other team get a single point on the board.
Yeah, for sure. I think at the end there, they were trying for a drip pick here as well. And you know what? You got to get the drip pick somehow. And, rather than take that extra time at the end of the set here to get one, regardless of the result. But getting it efficiently there, that is something you got to commend the team here. Look at this with the Zuka here, trying to get some other... And we have Timmy here just already watching the onslaught behind them. Like, now that is pretty... That was just... Wow, like, I am speechless just to how quick that game went. It seems like Reload has gotten the download and has figured out exactly how to bend Bad Luck's, comp backwards here as well, and being able to use their specials, their coordination, as well as their fighting prowess. They are very mechanically strong players that are able to fight strong individual 1v1 play battles and essentially snowball that into their advantage there, that caused these heavy lockout situations that we saw on both Rainmaker as well as Splat Zones, Hammy.
Yeah, just a lot of dominance these last few games from Reload. And honestly, I saw almost a little bit of mind games. Like, there was a spot where there was a fight where it was Cinnamon on the Stamper and one of the players who Bad Luck, can't remember, with the glass. And because we saw Goldilocks play Stamper last 2 games as a support Stamper, and now seeing Cinnamon as an aggressive Stamper, I wonder if they like forgot the Stamper was a fighter. They're like, oh yeah, that's the Bamboo. It's like, no, that's Cinnamon. They're coming for you. They're gonna zip straight at you, and they're not going to let you walk away from that fight. So Reload on set point, looking to take this next game and go to the Div 4 Season 16 LUTI Finals. But bad luck, may be able to turn their luck around and get the next 4 games in a row if they can unlock something deep within them and try to take this win away from Reload. But Clan Blitz Scorch Gorge is our next map, and I'm really hope for bad luck's sake that this is a map mode that they like.
Yeah, for sure. And I could definitely see Bad Luck being a bit more comfortable on Clan Blitz here. It seems like they've been playing with each other for quite a while here as well. So coordination especially is the most important on Clan Blitz here. So I'm curious to see if they're able to keep that streak alive from last game as well. But seeing how Reload has kind of figured out the comp of Bad Luck, what exactly they need and how exactly they can push into them, it's just a matter of getting them uncomfortable and being confident in their fights here to be able to take this set home here. But we're getting into game number 6 here, Hammy. Clan Blitz Scorch Gorge. Let's see what these players are bringing.
And we see Tony returning with that Luna Blaster. Interesting pick because we did see... We've seen the Clan Blitz win from Bad Luck earlier in the set, and they didn't have Tony on the roster there. So I'm wondering if they have a strategy here with that Vanilla Luna Blaster, potentially utilizing those zips to get in behind Reload, trying to pick off Timmy and Goldilocks on those support weapons. As you see 2 members of Reload already down, 1 member of Bad Luck down. Bad Luck already in control of the map. Fodder pushed up pretty far, allowing their team to just completely take this map. And for the first time, a huge opening from Bad Luck to push away Reload, but starting to lose their footing a little bit here.
Yeah, for sure. And I really like that aggressive positioning from the pencil at the start here, but we're already seeing Reload bounce back here already. They're getting these specials here, having to contest the Zuka here. Timmy smartly backing up here just to make sure they stay alive here. Fodder with a beautiful pick on the Carbon, but Cinnamon says, no, this is my show. I have the Decapitator. I get to get the jump in for my Dreadringer to open this basket here and start something.
Yeah, they open the basket, 3 players down, Hammy Sammy by themselves, trying to buy some space, maybe get a pick or 2, but Tony accepting the challenge, getting the direct and dodging those swipes from the Carbon now. Ember is getting some clams, gonna make a ball, is gonna push forward and go for it, but the slider is gonna make that a change of plans, is able to dodge it with the help of the splash wall. From Sky. Basket now open for Bad Luck, looking for a single clam. There it is from Tony. They will get the lead, but similar scenario to what we just saw, a delayed wipe.
Man, both these teams are just scrounging to get points on this basket here. Just a clam and an extra power was all that Bad Luck was able to get in there as well. They hopefully want more here. Oh, accidentally picking up the power here as well. This is going to be a pretty dicey situation, especially with that bubble being set up here. Now we have the Carbon and the Bamboo working together here, and this is where things get really spicy here, especially when those leaves that are coming in, getting 2. The push is still going, it seems.
Yeah, Timmy with a huge slider, getting that double, getting past the splash wall from Sky as well into perfect position. Though they will drop a power clam off the side of the map when going down. There's no players there to pick it up anyway. Hammy Sammy going under Ember there and just getting the pick from behind, just sliding straight through. Already Reload never lost control of this map. Bad Luck didn't have the time or the space to really paint up and get the map back. Hammy Sammy's still playing aggressive here. They know that they have a lead and they just want to start to make Bad Luck panic a little bit and try not to let them get a good coordinated push, because that lead isn't going to last them very long if that basket goes open.
Oh my goodness, the zip caster here from Tony is absolutely huge, getting that direct on that decav now. Unfortunately, it did not seem Bad Luck had that power climb at the ready to push in with that zip caster here, but there are 3 going down. I don't know what happened, but I think Tony just clicked the Luna Blaster button and people just exploded. You know, average Luna Blaster moment.
Yeah, this Bad Luck, that may be their thought process when they brought Tony back in here. They wanted to click the big red button that says Luna Blaster on it and start to get some picks. They do finally have a lead in this match. Less than 2 minutes left, but not a huge lead. Breaking that basket will give the lead to Reload just by a little bit. So Bad Luck, if they want to stay in this set and go to the finals of LUTI and not go to the third place match, they're going to have to find another push here to get a little bit of a better score and not let Reload back in.
Yeah, for sure, but it's very tough, especially with this 52 out here. Sky doing a wonderful job just stalling that time over there as well. Unfortunately going to get picked up, but hey, this stalled enough time here for fodder to get set up here because Pencil being on top mid is such a strong position here and can get so many good picks and lines of sight here as well. As you see, they are getting really close to that cooler, but getting picked off by Goldilocks here with the Bamboozler. It's going to be a very tricky situation to get back in if you're Reload, but you definitely see them trying to break in with these specials here. We see Azuka come out and Reef Slider and the Bubble is back online, but the Zuka from Bad Luck here has something to say here as well. They got the power here, they're running for it. Let's see if they can make more points here happen here, Hammy.
There goes the break from Ember after that counter Zuka. The double collateral from Tony with that AoE is going to buy Bad Luck a little bit of space, but not enough to get back into that basket that will close. The break now from Reload won't get the lead, so they can't just throw a power clam in overtime. They will need just a little bit of follow-up, but that from what we've seen from Reload, that won't be too difficult. So Bad Luck, you really got to make sure that you don't give Reload a chance here, or else you're gone.
Oh my goodness, they caught out Tony Shark right there as well. So this is definitely going to be a very dangerous situation. You don't have any AoE to help stop this push here, but you do have your weapons, you do have your main guns here, and they managed to win out these fights here. Timmy is the only one alive right here. They are backing up to try and give jumps, hopefully. They have to get to this basket here within this overtime limit here. Here comes the Reef Slider. Are they going to be able to score this one, capping these guys over here? Zuka coming out, everything in the kitchen sink being tossed out here. The power is still there. Cinnamon grabs it, runs for the basket. Not quite enough here, Hammy.
Oh, the power clam dropped too far for Cinnamon to manage to grab it and get it in. Bad Luck with a little bit of good luck will stay in this set, buying out just enough time in that overtime. Their saving grace is that even though Timmy had a slider ready, they were the last one alive and couldn't make a solo play happen. So they had to wait for their team and didn't have enough time. But that game, that felt reminiscent of the first three matches we saw in this set. A very, very close game that came relatively down to the wire. And unlike that dominance we saw from Reload in games 4 and 5, this is what Bad Luck needs to win, but they still need to play even better because having close games might not work if you need to win 3 more in a row.
Yeah, for sure. You definitely breathing a sigh of relief being able to come out on top of this game here as well. But hey, the pressure is on to be able to replicate that success as well. And when things are as dicey and as close as you were mentioning before, it's very difficult to come out on top, especially with just how close these players are in skill level here. We're at semifinals and they're clashing. They want to be able to bring it home all the way to finals here as well. And you can definitely see just how crucial this Luna Blaster pick here was. Just it provided so much value, sneaking up on the members of Reload here and just clicking those giant AoE blast radius. Just it was something to behold, Hammy.
Definitely. And I mentioned at the beginning of the match, I was skeptical about bringing Tony back in after we saw Bad Luck win the first Clams game, not having them on the roster. But Tony did prove that they needed to be there, the key component to getting that win, getting a lot of huge picks when they needed them most. But we've seen Bad Luck win both Clam Blitz games this set, and that's the only 2 games they've won. They now need to beat Reload 3 games in a row on the 3 modes that they have not won yet this set. So this is going to be the uphill battle of the ages for Bad Luck if they want a chance to go to the finals and face Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, for sure. Yellow Jackets is waiting on the other end for one of these teams here. Whichever team comes out on top is going to be able to face them as well. So I'm curious to see if Tony does make a return here, because I think Tony's Luna Blaster might be the key to keeping them in this one and prolonging this game here. Not only because Luna Blaster is a really strong weapon that is into Reload, but it's tower control. You gotta bring your blaster players here. Otherwise, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I do expect Tony to be playing this match because, again, that tower control game we saw earlier in Inkblot was, like 5-point difference, 3-point difference? It was very down to the wire. So I do think, yes, we are seeing Tony here in place of, I don't know why, Sora from the Tetras earlier. So we're going to have to see if Bad Luck can bring this back and get a win here on tower control ship shape, or will Reload close it out and go to the finals? Let's see how this goes.
Let's see how this goes indeed here. We do see a Decapitator as well as the Crab Stamper making a return here. We're already looking at Tony here, trying to find a way forward here. But, oh, the swords here. They're coming in strong here and swinging. But this is a very difficult situation to be in if you're bad luck, because losing a member makes it very difficult to contest space, especially against so many of these scary weapons here. We see Cooler come out. We saw Zuka get used. Zipcaster is the only special left here, and now Reload is going to unload their specials here and now start the snowball here, because it is ship-shaped Cargo Co. This could get out of hand really quickly.
Get out of hand quickly, but the same can be said for your own offense. If you manage to get a push, 3 members of Reload down will give Bad Luck the space to get back, but Hammy Sammy is nowhere to be seen on the camera. I'm sure the rest of Bad Luck is kind of look around, make sure they haven't missed something, that they're not sharking, but they were indeed in their own base. But climbing up this wall, they're going to see if they can get set up to prevent this first checkpoint. But Ember with that Zuka is going to push out the Crab from Goldilocks. Here's Hammy Sammy on the side, but getting picked off by 3 members of Bad Luck. They were waiting for that. They knew it was coming. And with that Soda and 3 members of Bad Luck here, I think that's going to be a checkpoint for them.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Oh, Timmy not being able to get any value out that Reef Slider. It seems like the members of Reload are caught in a little bit of a stagger here, and that's not where you want to be right now, especially with the tower giving that passive special charge. Bad Luck is going to have more specials to unload onto Reload here as well, and you can definitely see just how far they're going. We see the Zipcaster in here. Tony's looking for a way to intersect this bubble here already, and you can definitely see just this allowed to get them that last checkpoint needed here, which is usually very difficult, but the resources were spent here. You can just breathe a sigh of relief here if you're Bad Luck and find a way forward now.
Yeah, you know, that Zipcaster from Tony, I thought, man, I got countered by the bubble. And then I realized the Zipcaster was the counter to the bubble. The bubble got wasted and that checkpoint got broken for Bad Luck. So Reload didn't have any utility to really get rid of members of Bad Luck in time. So Reload now on the offensive are looking to break this checkpoint because they need to get through there if they want to close out this set. But Bad Luck now have that safety net of knowing that as long as that checkpoint doesn't break, they're safe. That is their goal now, is they can save their specials, they can save their fighting power for this choke point right here. Tony dropping in the tower, getting 1. Can they get 2? No, has to back up. Goldilocks able to get the pick as they're on that Stamper once again and not on the Bamboozler. And Reload are just applying so much pressure. Tony by themselves. Can they push through here and hold up this checkpoint? We're going to have to see. Neptune's coming close.
It is coming close indeed here, but Tony is trying to get to this tower here, but there's just not enough time right here. They do able to pass this checkpoint as well as swap the lead here. Ember is scrambling for the tower here as well. 3 members of Bad Luck are caught out here. This is not looking good. Ember trying their best to just get back on the tower, but it's not enough here. The other members of Reload are set up here. The Carbon comes in, getting 1, getting 2. The other members stacking on this tower here. 3, 2, 1. Reload takes game number 8. It just needed that 1 extra push there, and they managed to be able to break through, taking and securing their spot here for Division 4 Finals.
An unfortunate end for Bad Luck. They had the checkpoints broken, they had the space, but Reload able to just overwhelm them in their own half, continue that push further and get all the way to the KO. A very strong effort from Bad Luck. They had a lot going for them, but Reload were on another level today.
Yeah, for sure. And you definitely saw just Reload is very comfortable with fighting in general here. It's just when the moments are they get caught out and have disadvantage are when they overheat a little bit too much and start to stagger here as well. But when they do play their game, they play their game. They are able to just get these one-shots very convincingly and fight very strong 1v1s and come out on top here as well. So that is going to lead them into Division 4 Finals here, who is going to be fighting Yellow Jackets this next week here, Hammy.
Yes, they will get to see if they are able to become the LUTI Season 16 Division 4 champions, if they can beat out Yellow Jackets. But Yellow Jackets have been on a pretty hot streak recently in and outside of LUTI, so it's definitely going to be a bloodbath for that title. Bad Luck, once again, aren't out of LUTI. They are in the 3rd place match against Coral Convergence, but they are at a contention for winning the whole thing. But going to a 3rd place match in Division 4, that's nothing to scoff at. There's a lot of strong teams across all of these divisions in LUTI. It's a great tournament to watch. So that being said, that's all we have for us today. Thank you for Neptune commentating with me and Reload taking the win over Bad Luck. But before we go, we have a double header at 8 p.m. EDT tonight. Division 2 and Division 3 finals across the board. Gonna be very exciting to watch. Look at that lineup of commentators: Skep, Popgun, Kyon, and Saf. They're like, I am hunkering down tonight and watching. You know, I'm grabbing some drinks, I'm grabbing some snacks. I'm gonna be there watching that for sure. So please come back in. Let me do some mental math and time zones. 4 hours, about 4 hours from now. Please come back and watch those matches. Neptune, before we go, feel free to plug yourself and let the lovely viewers know where they can find you.
Well, you can find me losing my mind at the CCA server help desk, or specifically managing the stream stuff there, because that's typically where I am. But if you're curious to where I am on Blue Sky with Neptune-TV over there, as well as Neptune_TV on Twitch as well. So if you guys want to keep up with the Sea Cows, we're still doing stuff there. Feel free to follow me over there. But that's enough for me, Hammy. Where can people find you?
I am Hammy in the Wall, not to be confused with Hammy Sammy, who we just saw killing it on the Carbon Roller during this set. But you can find me right down here at hitw.inc on Blue Sky. That's where I'm most active. You can also find me on basically every other platform ever at Hammy in the Wall. Thank you all for watching. Once again, Neptune, thanks for being my co-commentator. I appreciate it. Jorian, killing it on the production as always. And like I said, come back in 4 hours for some more LUTI Tonight action, a double header of finals. We'll see you all very soon, and thank you all for watching.